The old woman was just kicked out of her house by her own son, when she suddenly saw a wooden basin floating on the river. When she pulled it out of the water and looked inside, she found a baby who had been abandoned by someone. Thinking about how she had just been thrown out by her son, with no one to turn to, the heavens had sent her this baby to keep her company, so she decided to adopt the child. Little did she know that this act of kindness would change her fate forever, because the boy was actually the biological son of a billionaire. When they returned to their hometown, they were plotted against by their competitors to save their son's life. The couple had no choice but to place the child in a wooden basin, letting him drift away with the current. 5 years passed in the blink of an eye. The little boy had grown up relying on the old woman, but because he didn't have parents, he was often bullied by other children. Luckily, he had a grandmother who cared for him. The old woman immediately noticed the boy's dirty and bruised appearance, but in order not to worry her, the boy lied, saying he had simply fallen on the road. Seeing the well-behaved little boy, the old woman felt a deep sense of relief. She thought that they would continue to live happily ever after, but unexpectedly, the boy suddenly collapsed to the ground. The old woman quickly dropped what she was doing and rushed him to the hospital, but the doctor told her the boy's condition was congenital. To fully cure him, he needed a kidney transplant. Over the years, the old woman had already regarded the boy as her own grandson, so she desperately begged the doctor to give him her kidney. Moved by the deep bond between them, the doctor decided to help, so both the little boy and the old woman lay on the operating table. The old woman comforted him, telling him not to be afraid, that everything would be fine. Meanwhile, the billionaire quickly received the news that there was a boy in the hospital who matched the description of his missing son, the same birthmark. It was highly likely to be his lost son. Upon hearing this, the billionaire rushed to arrange for someone to go pick up his son. At the same time, the old woman learned from the doctor that the surgery had been a complete success. In less than a month, the boy would fully recover. The old woman was overjoyed. She immediately pulled out her bank card from under her pillow to give to the doctor, but to her surprise, the nurse checked the card and told her that the balance had been frozen. Just when the old woman thought they had made a mistake, her son and daughter-in-law showed up at the hospital. It turned out that in order to pay for the surgery, the old woman had sold her house in the countryside, but her daughter-in-law confronted her, asking why she cared for someone else's child instead of her own grandson. The old woman didn't expect them to be so ungrateful. All the money she had saved over the years had gone to support them, and she had even helped pay the down payment for their city house. The old house in the countryside was supposed to be her retirement home. If it wasn't for that, she would never have sold it. But the daughter-in-law had a clear agenda. She wanted to take the money from the house sale for herself to buy gold. Seeing that her grandson's surgery fund was about to be taken by them, the old woman quickly got out of bed and begged them to return the money, but the daughter-in-law tossed her 300 yuan, telling her to stop bothering her. She then pushed the old woman aside and stormed off. The old woman, badly hurt, collapsed, leaving only the boy crying beside her. At that moment, the billionaire appeared.